recording.
Hey,
So,
Dennis.
yeah,
Okay.
you want me to take it this time, or?
No, I was gonna say get your face out of the your screen, your name over there, but you backed up. All right,
Yeah,
continue.
that's me right there. So, hey everybody, welcome to Make Money Online show or podcast here on Blab. I'm Dennis Smith, and we're joined today by host Matt Bernstein and also our guest, and I'm going to say co-host Jack Wilson. And we're going to talk with Jack today about his struggles from being overweight when he was younger and harassed. I've struggled with weight issues my entire life, but Jack has overcome those and become a fitness expert on Udemy, and has taken the knowledge that he's learned over the years to help other people as a personal trainer in the LA area, and now in Nashville, and soon back to LA again, or as what I call La La Land and home of La Fitness. But we're lucky to have Jack with us, and I'm lucky that my path has crossed with Jack and Matt over the last year and a half here on Udemy. And we're just going to talk about just how Jack is making money online, and Matt and I are going to chime in. We actually have, hey Matt, do you have that information for the show on the document that you were sharing out? So I know to list this stuff, because I don't. Oh, you know what? If I was smart enough, I would go to my docs on Google Docs, and I should be able to pull it up. But
Jack and I are already in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. While I'm doing that.
Well, when Dennis is doing that, Jack, do you want to just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself? And
yeah, sure, that'd be great. So like the guy said, my name's Jack Wilson. I've been really into fitness, I guess, for just over a decade now. The whole reason I got interested in this in the first place is, like the guy said, I used to be almost 50 pounds overweight when I was young. And I will say that childhood obesity is not a fun journey to take. So any parents on this call, take care of your kids, make sure they're eating healthy and staying active. It was really painful just because, kids are really mean in middle school and high school. So I was picked on a lot, called every name in the book, a lot of unmentionables, which I don't like thinking about or bringing up. But, I think that really changed my perspective of how I look at other people who have weight issues and who have problems. And I was diligent for about 18 or 19 months. I think it was, maybe it was 20 months that I took to lose. I think it came out being 47 or 48 pounds in that period of time. And it completely changed my self-worth, my perception, just being grateful for having a healthy body. And even though I still feel like I'm an awkward duck when it comes to athletics, at least I'm in pretty good shape. So that's really kind of what inspired me to do all this. I went to college and got an education in basically business and marketing. I got out, I did some marketing for some corporations. I worked in the entertainment industry for a little bit. With a small record label, and did some marketing for their clients. But while all this was going on, I decided to get my personal training certification because I'd kept up with health and fitness my entire life and tested all kinds of different diets and made sure to read about it. And I love picking my friends' brains who were athletes. And I had some friends who were like amateur bodybuilders, and just getting a huge idea of what was out there in terms of workout plans and diet plans. And then I finally got to the point, I guess it's been in the last year and a half, where I was like, I don't understand why I didn't take my marketing experience, my health and fitness experience, and my story and put this out on the internet so I could help other people lose weight and get into great shape. And so that's what I've been doing all this year. And now I teach online full time, and I run my own website, and it's a full-time income, which is really great.
I'm Jack. And I'm glad that you turned what happened to you in high school, lost all the weight, and you turned that into an opportunity where you can now use that information, that knowledge that you gained over the years and all the pain, and turn that into a full-time living.
Yeah, it's been really great, guys. It's something that I'm really thankful for. I feel like there are some people who, fall into this and just find a great niche or a great market to be in. But I'm really glad that I took the last year or two to really hustle and make this work, as I know you guys are really happy to be in the same place you are now, teaching online, selling your courses, being on eBay, and everything else that you're doing.
Matt, you're so quiet. Like you're the one who's on. Are you on mute or?
Well, now I'm not on mute, but I don't know. I mean, I could obviously go forward. I just didn't want to if you had something to say, Dennis. Okay. So anyways, Jack, so how did you first start teaching on Udemy and making this health and training niche that you have into a business?
It's really kind of funny how this came about because I had just moved to Los Angeles in the spring of 2013. And I was out there and I really wanted to I moved out there for a marketing job, but I also wanted to work on health and fitness since that's kind of the epicenter of all things that are, training and health related and with, Venice and Muscle Beach and everything. So I moved out there. And within a few months of being out there, one of my good friends from Nashville, who's a really great instructor on Udemy too, his name's Joel Widmer. He sent me a link to Udemy and basically told me, he was like, "Hey Jack, you should throw, just any kind of course up here that's generic on weight loss or whatever, just as like a test for yourself." Cause he knew that I wanted to get into fitness in LA. And, I think this was back when the site had I don't want to be misquoted on this, but I think they only had 1 or 2 million people around the time that he told me about this. But I was like, oh, this sounds like a really cool idea. So I shot and edited one weight loss course and I put it up there. And the quality was low, so it never actually made it to market, which is really funny. But that kind of gave me an idea for the next course I needed to create. So I put up a weight loss course on there. It's my very first course and it's still up there on Udemy. And I just kind of let it sit for a while. I didn't even really pay that much attention to it until the end of 2014 or summer of 2014. And over that period of time, my course had gotten 50 some reviews and had 10,000 students on it. So by the time I had checked that and I was like, okay, this is a thing that's sitting here. It wasn't making me any money. It was just free. It was just, getting visibility, I guess, or getting leads. I finally got to the point where I was training myself sick in LA. I think I was training 6 days a week. But our schedule is so much different from the average day job. It's some days I would wake up at 4:30 or 4:45 in the morning to go teach 6 and 7 a.m. classes. And then I'd have clients in the afternoon and have random naps when I could in between, and then train till late at night and wake up and do it all over again after I went home and ate everything in my fridge because I was so hungry from, working out with people all day. So it was kind of really nice that my friend had tipped me off and told me hey, a lot of my friends in online business have told me that this online teaching thing is going to blow up and that this company Udemy is really ahead of the curve. So after I'd gotten to that point in the beginning of last year, I was okay, I'm going to move back to Nashville. I'm going to cut some of my overhead because it's a little more expensive to live in Los Angeles. And I'm going to work at doing this full time and produce some more courses and stuff. And I just figured this out the other day. I think in 7 or 8 months, it only took me 7 or 8 months to exceed the income that I was making doing personal training, which wasn't bad. And then I need to go back and do my revenue projections for this coming year based on the growth that I've seen. But this should be my best year financially, I think, in 2016, unless, everything falls apart and the website goes down or something like that. But
That's interesting because, that I just joined a gym and I was just thinking about when you were talking about the guy who, he's not my personal trainer, but he showed me through when I started and gave me a routine. And I think I was telling you that he only charges $25 an hour. Well, I mean, to the average person, $25 an hour sounds nice, but when you're self-employed, you have to remember from that comes taxes for, the self-employed tax or whatever, and then also insurance and things like that. So it doesn't add up to a lot. So it's kind of cool that you discovered Udemy because I had a friend who was a personal trainer, and he talked about doing online stuff, and he never went anywhere with it. And now Udemy's that platform for people like you. So, yeah.
And that's what's been so amazing about the whole online thing, like you guys know, and teaching all the people that we do. Every day that I would wake up and go to a gym, it was so incredible to, I think it was really on my heart every day to go in and help people with this because it had dramatically changed every aspect of my life when I lost all of that weight. It gave me, a self-discipline and optimism and enthusiasm that I had never had before that time. And so I went into every class and every personal training session that I had with the idea that, hey, this could be a day that you're really going to help somebody turn their life around for the best. And the fact that I could go from teaching, a class of 15 or 20 people to now 35, just north of 35,000 people now in Udemy, not counting like my social media and website traffic and things like that, is really just, it's amazing. It's humbling. Like, it's one of the most incredible things I've ever done. Like, it's way cool.
Yeah. And it all started because you planted the seed in listing up that free course on Udemy, saw that you got a bunch of traffic and decided to, make more courses, fully dive in there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think you guys have seen a lot of that too. I think you need a little bit of something to build somebody's trust in the beginning. So like when I was in Los Angeles, like I would give away like a free personal training session and like a nutrition consultation, and then even like an initial health assessment. So just have them in and not even work them out, but just like give them a functional movement screen and make sure their joints are okay. And that cardiovascular wise, they're up to the test, and always make sure they had doctor's clearance. So being able to like put out a course on there, like I put out another free one this past summer that's already got 5,000 people on it. But you guys know how important it is to build that trust from somebody, because once they get a useful tool that gets them to a certain point, if I give them a free course that's designed to help them lose the first 10 or 20 pounds, which can be really hard to do, then they'll be able to trust me for giving them another course that's paid to get them the rest of the way to their goal.
Yeah, that's the same thing with a personal trainer in real life, that establishing that relationship so that your client trusts you. Because I felt comfortable with the guy that I was telling you about, because my friend and I went to like a cross training course that he had, and that was tough for me. I had certain things I just couldn't handle because of my back surgery and all of that, and I backed out. Other things were awesome. Like I got to box my friend and all of that. That stuff was fun. And he was okay with that kind of stuff. It wasn't one of those like where they push you or embarrass you or something like that, which you can find those type out there.
There are definitely those guys out there, and I've definitely seen my share of them in Los Angeles, where they're already intimidating because they're these guys that are 205 pounds of twisted muscle and rip 6-pack abs, and then they get somebody in a session and they're like, drop down and give me push-ups. That's not good enough, and intimidating them. And I always thought it was so much easier. And I mean, it also depends on the client or person that you're training. Some people want that. Some people are used to that kind of coaching style, but I always felt like you get so much more out of people and they get so much more out of their results with encouragement and positive enthusiasm. And optimism, and then just being able to talk to them. Like I've had a lot of clients who are just, flat out miserable. Like they know they need health, they know they need fitness, they know they need to be active. But, the hour session I had with them 3 times a week or 4 times a week was the most miserable hour of their life. So to alleviate that, I would ask them questions about things that they enjoyed. Like, if I have a client who like loves her cats or loves going to the beach or loves surfing or loves music, then, I'll even go out of my way to like learn more about what they're really into. So they know that I'm really genuine about helping them and making this a positive experience for, living a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, why don't oh, go ahead. I guess it's the delay or something like that on here. I'm in one part of the country, Matt's in Boston and Jack is in Tennessee. So I was just going to say we had a question. So I was just going to make sure that we got it answered just real quick before we move on. It says, do you use Facebook advertising to get leads for your business?
I've only tested Facebook ads once, and I felt like it was pretty successful. I've taken a couple different courses about using Facebook ads, and I think, I don't know, just from doing a little more research in it, I think I'm going to invest a set percentage of my revenue as like my marketing budget every month toward Facebook advertising specifically, because I think that the more followers you have, the more credibility that you have online. And I know what countries are already buying my courses and are into my courses. So if I can target those countries and place ads there to help people, discover a new resource or discover my brand that's going to help them out that they weren't aware of, before I think I'm going to set, a set amount aside every month to put into an advertising campaign. Because the one advertising campaign that I did on Facebook back in, I guess it was August, I only ran it for 3 or 4 days and ended up getting somewhere around like 900 likes because of it. And my cost per like was around a penny, I think so, or like a penny and a half, which is pretty cheap from what I've read. And it's also given me a lot more engagement and connections to people. I've been getting a ton of messages lately to put my stuff on other course sites in Asia. I just got one recently in India. There was another online teaching startup that said that they would love to have my stuff on there. So yeah, I think, the wider scope of people that I can help, if that's using Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever, yeah, I think I'm going to keep exploring avenues like that. But yeah, I've only tested it once. I think this year is going to be the year where, I block out like a certain percentage of my income every month that I dedicate to Facebook ads. I also saw somebody on here put, who wrote, okay, have a great story. If you consider writing your memoirs, it would also help your market. Yeah. So one thing that I just started, I'm so glad that you asked this, Sir John. So, I guess before Christmas, I started writing, a book that I at least want to release to my courses. I might publish it to the Amazon market. I'm not sure, but I think that it is so valuable to share your story of being overweight. Like, look at why we have The Biggest Loser, or a brand new show that I just found the other day, Fit to Fat to Fit, where trainers actually gain a ton of weight to simulate what their clients' weight loss is going to be like. So an episode of this, there's this really fit, like CrossFit trainer who gained 61 or 62 pounds over like 3 or 4 months. Have you guys seen this? Have you seen the commercials for this? Oh, I think Dennis is muted.
Sign language. I was just wondering if that was good, or if that was dangerous for somebody to do that to their body.
I mean, I don't think it'd be the first course of action that I would take in helping somebody to lose weight. I think it's an interesting concept. The reason that it got picked up in a television show is a trainer did that, and I think he gained like 80 or 90 pounds over, I don't know what kind of time period, but he really, I don't think he had ever been overweight in his life, but he wanted to feel the strain of his clients to know what they were going through and know what having cravings for sugar and starches and really bad fatty foods would be like. So I think it's a really cool concept to do. I don't know if I'd ever take it to that level. It's really similar to what's his face, Morgan Spurlock, who did 30 days of McDonald's every day. Yeah, Size Me. But yeah, I think it's a really interesting concept. So yeah, I did start thinking recently. I was like, okay, well, I need to allot a certain amount of time for like writing blog posts, which is what I have, and then also a time for like writing. I don't know if I'd say my memoirs, but all of the different ways that I've tried to lose weight and lose body fat. Because I think the first way that I lost weight, when I lost those 47 or 48 pounds, was completely wrong. Like, I never go back to losing weight that way or recommend anybody to do it. I wanted to keep eating all the same crappy foods that I was eating and a ton of sugar, but I just cut my portions back. So at the end of the day, I was what I'd like to call skinny fat after that process. And I think since then I've been able to refine it so that I don't have to work out, 10 to 20 hours a week. And I can also eat tons of food until I'm absolutely stuffed of some particular categories. And I'm really, happy doing it that way. So yeah, I did just start recently working on a book to release.
Yeah. Matt, go ahead. I know that you had a question there before we got, I just wanted to make sure that we get some of these questions out of the way, but we can go ahead and continue with your thought that you had. Do you remember what that was?
Well, the thought connected to what we were talking about before. I guess going back to even the Facebook ads, do you target likes, engagement, or do you bring them over to Udemy, or do you bring them over to your own website to buy a course? What do you do?
With that Facebook traffic particularly, I've been trying to get more people. I really want to increase the direct following of my website and the traffic there, because I think in considering your own business, you need to have, all these tentacles that attract people and distribute information, but you need to have some kind of central hub to bring people back to. So if people know that at my website, they can get a couple new blog posts a week and links to new information or new videos or whatever I'm working on, that's what I'm working on doing. And I also do put out a lot of links for my Udemy courses there. And I have a big tab on my website that people can buy Udemy courses for a great discount. So check that out if you haven't looked at it on my website yet. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, for us to we have to make sales to pay our rent, to pay our bills, to exist. But I really do want to help as many people as I can. So I try to direct people to my website. So whether they want to pay for information, great. If they just want free information, that's one more person I help today.
So in the fitness and health niche arena, how do you market your course, and what's like your strategy within Udemy? And then we could talk about within, I know you want to open up your own website and everything else. So if you want to dive into that.
Man, this is so the marketing strategy is something that keeps me up at night. And I'm sure for you guys, this is something that you're always turning over in your head, is what platform do you want to go to? When do you want to send out emails? How do you want to collect these emails? Where are the most important places that you can put your presence on the internet? And I think what it comes back to always is that I'm conscious of, okay, in order to make this work, it's like, I need to keep selling courses. So I need to keep developing helpful products to help people with the problems that they have. And I need to keep collecting emails to my email list, because that's a direct connection. That's like me having Matt's phone number or Dennis's phone number. You know, you can pick up the phone and call me anytime, or I can pick up the phone and call you guys anytime to help. And that's what I want people to feel like, is that I'm there to help them with their problems. And I felt the pain that they're going through. So I think marketing plans for this year is I really want to keep pumping out more content to my website. I really want to get diligent, which I feel like I've been so far, at writing more blog posts and more in-depth blog posts, so that I'll get higher rank on Google's SEO and get a lot more traffic to my site that way. I've already seen a ton of growth this year, but I want to get it bigger. I would love to get to, I think my initial goal is going to be between 10 to 15,000 visitors a month. Right now I'm I've been between 3,500 and 5,500. And that growth has gone up really quick. So hopefully it'll only go faster. I want to keep building that email list. I want to create another free course for Udemy so I can keep getting more people onloaded and I guess into my sales funnel, so I can give them, something that I can build their trust with and give them something they can start their weight loss journey on. And I'm also going to work on developing a bunch more paid courses this year, as me and you have, or as the three of us have talked about recently. So I need to figure out, I've got 3 or 4 more courses slated that I want to release before summer. So I'm working on scheduling those and when I can start the shooting and writing for those. But as far as growth goes, I mean, I'm going to keep producing content on Udemy because that's where a lot of my income is coming from. And I also want to drive a lot more traffic back home to my website so I can sell products and services off there too. And I'm going to test some different revenue streams this year because I feel like, and you guys know this too, there are so many different places that we can put our videos and our content now that we can sell them in so many online teaching sites. So I've actually got on my whiteboard over here 4 other teaching platforms that I want to explore and try to validate for the fitness niche. So those are all kind of the big things that I want to work on this year as far as marketing and getting more traffic goes.
Somebody wrote, instead of writing a post, would you do a video post instead? Like maybe repurposing your new content that you're going to be listing on Udemy, whether that be paid or free?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have this really cool diagram that I like to use that I guess you could call a content funnel. I don't even know if that's the right word I would use for it, but it's basically how you can take one piece of content and multi-purpose it over all of your platforms. So what I want to start doing is, for all of my blog posts that I've written, go ahead and make a video to go with that blog post, and then add that video to YouTube, and then make a graphic for it and post that to Instagram, and post the links for that blog post and the video to Pinterest, and kind of, trickle it out over all the platforms. The other thing,
and also doing that consistently too,
Sure.
repurposing for all those platforms and then doing it consistently.
Sure. So that I think is going to be the big goal. And then another one of my buddies on Udemy recommended that I start shooting really quick, like 1 to 2 minute workout tutorial videos, just to give people, because, I feel like as entrepreneurs, we're in a game of content. We have to be consistent and we have to deliver good content to the people that we're helping. So one thing that I really want to explore too, since I feel like video is a format that I've gotten really comfortable with in, working out in front of my smartphone or a camera or something and video in it. I really want to do somewhere in the ballpark of 3 to 5 quick YouTube videos a week of like, hey, if you don't have that much time, here's a 10-minute workout you can do, or a 15-minute workout or a 20-minute workout, and just give them a quick tutorial of each of the exercises, the order, the format it's in, how they're going to do it, and then, spit that out on YouTube, and then use those also for my Udemy courses that they're applicable for. So I have a multi-purpose piece of content to draw more views on YouTube, and then also build new courses or add content to my existing courses that I'm selling now.
Yeah. Hey, do you have like a tripod for your iPhone?
Yeah, it's actually I'm doing this on my phone right now, and it's sitting on the tripod that I use.
Yeah, because that was one of the reasons why I ordered a better phone, because I think that's a great idea, because Matt's doing a lot of Instagram stuff, and you really need to have like a good mobile phone for something like that. And so I was just thinking about that for my phone that I've got to get a little tripod, because somebody was commenting that 1 to 2 minute videos work great on Facebook, because it's true, because at the end of those videos you can tag it. So like for the book Udemy Life, I've been putting little snippets of like our interview and the interview that I did with Matt and Phil, and editing a small portion of that out. And when it runs, once it's done, it lets them go click to somewhere else, and I have it go to a link where they can register to get notification when the book comes out. So with your exercises or what Matt does and stuff like that, Facebook is excellent for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's a place that we're starting to see. I'm sure you guys see it too. It's like the way Facebook has integrated video and how big of a piece it is on Facebook now, and how big of a role it is. Like, I think that's going to be a huge way that I'm starting to market myself in 2016. And I really want to build that YouTube followership, because I don't know, if you take a look at anybody who's successful in your particular market or your particular niche, I think I've got about a half a dozen fitness people who I study who have their own businesses online, and were trainers before, are trainers now, or whatever. And the couple people that I've watched and studied their business model who have put 1 to 2 videos on YouTube a week that have only been, 2 minutes or less in length, have gone from, one girl who I follow in particular in 2013, I think she had 1,800 or 2,000 followers on Facebook, followers on YouTube. And I just checked her in like the last couple of weeks, and I think she's up to like 7,500 people. So just by like yielding decent quality content, and it's all stuff, like Dennis said, it's all stuff that's shot on a smartphone, has minimal editing done to it, and she has like a cool, track in the background for her workouts, and that's built her like this army of people who are following her online.
Yeah, you would be surprised. Go ahead.
Oh, and Phil Ebener was saying he's gotten 1 million views just by consistently posting videos onto YouTube, and that's like a key to his success. And just, I wanted to mention before too, isn't it great that you can just make one video of content and then repurpose it to just have like, here, this could be like your Facebook post for like a 1 to 2 minute workout. It can also be a lecture in your video course, and so on and so forth.
It saves so much time for us, as you guys know, and then it just helps so many people that way, because a lot of the people who might follow you on Instagram, Matt, don't keep up with you on another platform. So if you put out an image that you made on Canva or WordSwag or something on Instagram, and you link to your blog post or a product or something in the bio of your Instagram or whatever platform you're using, you want to be able to give as many people as you can access to what you're putting out there. So yeah, absolutely. It's cool how you can just take, it's kind of a mind-blowing thing that you could take one video or one blog post. And I know people who use like transcription services too. So they'll do, 5 or 6 minute videos that end up being like a couple 1,000-word blog post, and they just pay for the transcription of it, put some headings on it, make edits where necessary, and then boom, they've got a blog post in a half an hour or whatever it would be.
I'm posting a link to WordSwag in there because I don't have an iPhone, but Jeremy showed me that, and it's a really cool app. And there are apps like it for Android phones to make really cool, simple graphics and get them up really quick. I was going to say, gosh, now I was going to lose my train of thought there with that. We were talking about the tripods. Oh, on YouTube, that we were talking about simple videos and stuff like that. It's really funny, like what people watch. There's a dam up here near Boise that only spills water over when it's a really wet spring and snowy winter. And I did like a 30-second video of that spillway, and it's got thousands of views. And
wow,
the thing is that we forget, like with those YouTube videos, is to use the cards that they give us. And because there was one on Craigslist that I did, and I don't have a Craigslist course. So since I'm an affiliate for Udemy, what I did is I found a Craigslist course, and then halfway through, it pops up with a course on Udemy if people are watching my Craigslist video and they want to know more. So, I mean, people could do the same thing with their short YouTube videos and direct people to your websites or affiliate marketing stuff, whatever you want to do.
Of course.
And then there's silence.
Man, you guys have been quiet today.
And we'll be back right after this commercial break. Take it away, Matt.
Well, I guess our trusty Google Docs will check out the next question. Well, basically, everybody, you thought it was important, and we all think it's important that we should discuss your daily and weekly routines and you being a successful Udemy instructor. What does your day look like, and how do you determine what it looks like?
Your sound.
Yeah, for some reason his audio was a little fuzzy.
Yeah. So did you hear that then, Jack?
Yeah, I think I got daily routines and talking about it.
That's underwater.
Did you see this recent question? It's overwhelming. YouTube, Craigslist, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, MailChimp. Yeah, it's seriously there is such a cacophony of platforms and things that you can do that.
Say that word again.
Cacophony?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that. Is that a Southern word, or am I?
No. It's just being overwhelmed. Word. It's just like a mess and smattering of things out there.
A shitload of stuff.
Exactly. That we can, but it is, and you guys know how it is too. And I feel like every time we get on our weekly calls together, and particularly from the two of you, it's like, Dennis, you were spitting off website security stuff like nobody's business this week, or Jeremy was the person who gave me the idea to use Canva and WordSwag. And I was like, where do these guys find this stuff? Like, I believe that some people who do this can manipulate the space-time continuum to create more hours in the day to discover all these fun tools and tricks, and somehow can still sleep like 8 or 9 hours a night. I don't know how they do it.
Hackers forced me to learn that stuff.
Oh my gosh. Hackers are forcing us to learn. But as far as daily routines and stuff go, I usually, and I mean, this has varied a little bit recently, but I usually like to wake up between 7 and 8 o'clock, or 7:30 and 8:30 at the latest. I'm trying to be more diligent about how I schedule my morning, because as I feel like most people do first thing in the morning, like I would open my phone and check my email first thing to see what was in there. And now I'm just kind of setting that aside. And just taking a second to relax. Like, I'll go down, I'll make myself a cup of coffee, brush my teeth, like do all the morning, like I guess average every morning routine that everybody does. And then I'm really trying to make a point to sit down and write a good piece of content. And before that, I'll read. So I'll take like 20, 30 minutes. Sometimes I'll take an hour, and I'll flip through. Flipboard is the app that I use to like aggregate a lot of the fitness stuff and business stuff that I read. So I'll like read a couple articles on SEO or marketing. I'll get caught up on Udemy stuff that way and what's going on in the platform. And then I'll like to read, like recently I've been getting really into range of motion and flexibility, because mine's really, really poor genetically, but it's something that I really want to teach because it's so big for injury prevention and keeping yourself younger longer. So I'll usually read for that period of time. Then I'll sit down and write. And it'll either be about what I was reading and kind of like aggregating that information onto a page so that I have like a revision, like I can feel my fingers punch that out, and I'll have like more ingrained what I learned that morning. Or, I'll get to write like 500 or 1,000 words for the book that I'm working on. And then afterwards, I usually have made the night before like a list of 2 to 4 things that I need to accomplish that day. And whether that's sending out an email to my email list for a new blog post or a new piece of content that I have, or a promotional announcement to my Udemy courses, or if I need to film new videos for a new course that I have or some existing courses that I have. And that's how I'll usually, I guess start and finish my major tasks or like my mission critical things that I need to do for the work days, have those listed out. And I've gone back to actually using a notebook and like pencil and paper. I think I bought this for like 96 cents at Target. So I was using an app, and I still do. Todoist is the app that I use to kind of organize all of the things that I need to do on a daily basis, but also write them down and check them off, because I think there's something really nice about like having it written and then marking it off a list physically. So that's usually how my everyday runs. And then after my work day, I'll usually take a lunch break at some point, but I'll usually go to the gym and like end my work day around like 7:00, and then I'll go work out or lift or run or whatever I'm doing for a while, and then I'll come home and take it easy for the rest of the night, and then organize everything I need to do for the next day. So
and then by that time it is the next day.
Yeah, I know, that's kind of what it feels like. I mean, do you guys feel like you follow a pretty similar schedule? Or you guys both? I mean, Dennis, you have to be an early riser for some of the calls and stuff we have. What do you guys find yourself doing on a daily basis?
It really varies depending on like how I feel. Or
Sure.
in the summer, yeah, definitely I get up early because the sun rises earlier. But in the winter months, it just kills me. Today,
Sure.
woke up to a couple of inches of snow, which is mostly melted. But somebody was
Wow.
asking about what apps you use.
Oh, what apps that I like to use?
Yeah, because you use a traditional pen and paper, which I think is great. But I'm like you, like where I'm an apps person too.
Sure. So I think one of the biggest ones for the to-do list, I use Todoist. So it's just all one word, Todoist. And it's a really simple to-do list app. That's what I use for things on a daily basis. Things for like organization or brainstorming or writing, I do pretty much exclusively in Google Docs on Google Drive. I feel like that's great for everything. So anything that I'm like organizing my courses on to like get new content out there. Oh, I'm an iPhone user. But I love to use spreadsheets. I'm kind of a nerd that way. I had a huge like 6-hour accounting class when I was in college, and I feel like spreadsheets just make the world go round for me. So anytime I can organize something into a spreadsheet, I'll usually do that. I use Evernote to clip like articles that I think are particularly like profound or like organized, like marketing and SEO notes on there that I think would be great for my business. But mostly I use Flipboard now just because I feel like it's so easy to go through. Like that's the app I love using for my iPhone. So anywhere I read something on the internet, I've got built in my phone and then built into my Google Chrome browser. Like you can just go ahead and that's exactly how it's spelled too.
Yeah. Do you share out from that application? Because I have done that before.
Yeah, it's really cool. So I'll share from Flipboard like to my Twitter account, and then sometimes I'll share from there to either my personal Facebook or my Facebook page. But like Flipboard, since it's a built-in social network itself, I've also gotten about 3,000 followers on there just curating information for myself. And it's so passive. So like I'd recommend for you guys, if you do a ton of reading on your phone or online, like download the Flipboard web clipper, I think is what it is.
For
or like
Chrome?
have it on your phone. Yeah, for Chrome. And then just start clipping articles that you're reading, because I've found a ton of people who are interested in my stuff on there. And I didn't even realize until I had gotten about like 12 or 1,300 people. I was like, why are people reading, like my personal library, basically? Yep. There you go.
That's what it looks like.
And see, that's a nice little aesthetic too. Just like flipping through pages, swiping down pages. Yeah, so I've got like a couple different magazines of my own on Flipboard. I've got one for weight loss and one for building muscle. I've got one for corrective exercise, and I've got like a marketing one and an SEO one. But that building muscle and
following those?
Yeah, people will start following my magazines on there that I just like clip articles from everybody else's. So it's a really easy way to, put people on there. And recently too, I've started like clipping the blog posts that I write like into my magazines too. So that'll help drive some traffic from Flipboard to my website.
This is
I was going to ask if you did that. And curiosity, what do you use spreadsheets for besides financials?
Besides,
I'm interested to know.
Well, I do use it for financials, like you said, but I was also using it until recently for organizing like tests that I'm doing on my courses. So if I change a headline for a course to see if that improves the SEO, or a subtitle for a course, or the copy for the long course description, I'll do that for. I've also used spreadsheets too. That's where I have like my marketing plan. Somebody mentioned earlier how overwhelming it is, like MailChimp and Twitter and Facebook and all these platforms. So I have like a week long graph and then a month long graph of like, these are the short term things I need to be doing on a daily basis, as far as like posting to Twitter, posting to Instagram, posting to Facebook, when I need to be blogging. So I don't have to think about it. I can just open that sheet and know what I have to do. And that keeps me from getting distracted and, trying to pull a little bit from everywhere. And then you end up with 15 tabs open in Chrome and you're not sure where you started. I don't want to get there. I don't want to confuse myself.
Well, and that's awesome too, because it's a great way for you to keep track of all of the testing that you're doing. And you know what they say, if you don't track it, then it never happens.
Exactly. And I feel like if you study too what's working and what's not working, that's the only way that you're going to best like keep delivering good quality stuff. Because when I open up my sales sheets every month and I see the courses that are selling the least and the courses that are selling the most, I'll make adjustments to the course that are selling the least and see if I can get, more attraction or more money or more sales out of them. And then if there's any way I can improve the better ones, but most of those I get, you don't want to change the things that are already working. So I'm like, okay, well, I just need to make more courses like this one, or that have this appeal, so I can, replicate that success, I guess.
To a point where your course is just as perfect as it's going to be, and you basically, if you want to just either make more money, you really just need Udemy to get behind you, and one of those ways is just create more courses.
Exactly.
Hey Matt, you might want to jump out and jump back in to see if that solves the audio problem that you're having, because it sounds horrible.
I think you just did. Oh, FIC Story World was asking if you can keep. Oh yeah, you can keep content private.
Welcome back.
So I have like a couple of private magazines that are like business articles that I clip from places too. Just because it's like I only want to share so many secrets that I'm using before I've actually tested it myself. And then once I find out it's working, then I'm like, okay, well, this is what I've been doing for a while, so other people can kind of see that too.
Is my audio better?
Yeah, there we go.
Better!
Now he's back.
Gosh, it was like
that audio is going to be real great for the podcast.
Maybe it won't be there. Maybe we can wish that away. The underwater Matt audio.
Blab language. Something like that. Matt, I'll go ahead and let you keep leading there. I'm just chilling out.
On that subject, Jack, do you have anything else before we want to dive into like your weekly stuff that you do? Or did you go over the weekly too?
I don't think, the one thing that I'm trying, no, I feel like that was just the daily, but the one thing that I've been trying, as ridiculous as this might sound, is that I feel like since I've taken, my business into my own hands this last year, I've been a lot more stressed. And as you guys know, like it's so hard when your business and your income and everything is in your own hands, or you feel like it's in your own hands and you're not with a regular job that you're waking up, you're going to, and you're coming home. It's so hard to like shut your brain off.
It is
at any point in the day. So,
I'll be through that.
Yeah,
that's fine though, because we love what we do, and you know what?
Sure.
The most successful people, they don't shut their brains off of what they love. So
sure. I think there's a balance that we kind of have to strike, because one of my best friends of the last like 20 years, like he was one of my greatest friends through all of high school, and we've kept up in college. He's just one of the greatest guys I know. He just recently started working on publishing ebooks to the Kindle market, and he's having a blast doing it. Like he saved up some money teaching, because he was teaching in a pretty cheap area to live, and he was making good money. So he saved up a ton of money, and he was like, you know what, I'm going to take a year off and I'm going to give this online business thing a shot. So I'm helping him out with courses. He's kind of helping me out with writing because he's really good at it. And I was talking to him last week, and I was asking him about routines that he keeps for himself, because he's one of those guys where his brain doesn't turn on until midnight, and he'll stay up and work until seriously daybreak, and then he'll sleep till noon or 1, because that's when his creative juices start flowing. And I'm like, hey man, I'm a morning guy. This is when I work. But he's got his creative process down to a fine science. And this guy generates content like I've never seen anybody do. Like, he's already written 2 complete books this year. He's about to finish a 3rd one, and he's working on a 4th that he's been playing around with the idea for a while. And we're talking about like in the last 4 or 5 months, he's been able to do this. So he's really a master.
A boyfriend or girlfriend?
No, and seriously, I think that really helps. When
you're single.
Yeah, sure, because you've got you've got all your time for yourself, and that's something that that we don't have, Matt. I mean, that's something that we really have to strategize our time around, and having a significant other, somebody else in our life.
But if they're just as passionate,
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you can't work, from midnight to daybreak, but I'm up every morning, and then we cook breakfast together, and then we just get started with the day.
Sure.
She goes to work, and then I go, and then I stay here and work.
Yeah,
that person
she goes to work, and then you stay at work.
If you have somebody else in your life, how is that as far as income for him? Because I just think that the books are a good way to gain. What's the word that I want to use? It's just maybe like respect
Traction.
or whatever. What?
Sure.
Traction.
That too. But it doesn't seem like there's a lot of income now. I do know people who have made a lot of money. If you I think it's a good thing to tie into like what we're doing with the Udemy courses to drive traffic to our courses through the books. And I've read some books, on ways to do that. But I guess it also depends on what you're writing about too, what category you're in. But there's when I wrote my first book 3 years ago, it did well for the first couple of years, but I haven't really updated it because there's a ton of social media books out there for people to pick from, and people don't know Jack from Jill.
Sure. It's funny, like it's a funny debate about the e-publishing industry right now. I was listening to a great podcast last week from a guy who has made, I don't know, it sounded like this guy, he was disclosing some of his income, and it sounds like he's made at least a couple $100,000 in the last few years from doing the online publishing thing. And we've all seen those success stories. Yep. But the guy was talking about how that no matter what business you're in for yourself on the internet, you can't afford not to write a book, just from the credibility and the clout that you can get from having, whether a physical printed book or an entire, digital ebook of something out. And I think it was like after I read that, I realized even more so, I was like, I really need to dedicate myself to taking, 30 minutes a day is nothing. Or even if I took 20 minutes a day to spit out 300 or 400 or 500 words, like that's something. And then later you can hire the editor to like go through it, have them do a content edit, and then do like a grammatical edit too. And I think there is still a ton of value in it, but I've been talking to this particular friend recently about teaching courses on Udemy, because he's kind of a jack of all trades, where it's like he's really good at editing video. That's kind of what he went to school for. He also had a lot of photo classes, and he can edit photo. And we all know, especially on Udemy, how valuable those skills are. And I told him, I was like, hey man, if you don't want to have to go back to your teaching job, like this is what I've moved to full time. I'd be more than happy to show you like how I did this, because if you could do that too, let's go to Vegas next year, basically.
Yeah. And when you were saying 300 to 500 words, you don't even have to write words, because I've been, looking at some of the books. The big thing right now is dictation. Your iPhone, you can dictate on your iPhone, and there's this, and maybe the guy that you were talking about, I don't know if it was Chandler Bolt, who's been out there as far as ebooks.
I think that was how to write. I think it was Chandler Bolt. Yeah. Yeah.
Talking about dictation. And then there's an app for the iPhone that will transcribe it. The service is a little costly. But there are ways to do that, to get a book out quickly, and 300 to 500 words a day translates into about, I think about 3 months, you can have a decent size ebook out.
Mm-hmm. And that's not with, was
Especially
that
when
with
you're just like talking into your phone. Sorry.
Oh
What?
no, I think I was gonna say what Matt is. That's so easy to like take. You know, you can take 10 minutes of your day and speak into your phone. Chapter 1, this was my life, and then go for it. And then, like you said, no time, you virtually got a great book. And I think there's a challenge of.
Yeah.
Do they have those? They have those for the Android tablets too.
Oh heck yeah!
That's awesome. That's
It's
awesome.
like,
so yeah, I think the. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, there are a few things that aren't available, like Word Swag for Android, but a lot of people don't realize that the Android operating system is actually the dominant operating system over iPhones. It's just,
well,
for
Dennis,
some
when
reason,
you were asking the other day about like which phone you should get, like I think in a performance aspect and hardware and software and everything, hands down, like Android can outperform circles around iPhone. Circles.
I like the iPhones, and I'm on a MacBook and all of that, but I've always been an Android fan, and so I ordered another Android phone because I wanted something to be able to do what we were talking about earlier, make those quick 2-minute videos and Instagram and things like that I can kind of do some of my business while I'm on the go, because sometimes, friends want to drag me different places or whatever, and my mind keeps going. I'm more like your friend, and I think it's because I think certain people are more. There are some people that are analytical, and there are also the creative types, and I think I'm kind of a cross between the two. So my creative juices don't kick in until late at night, and I find it harder the older that I get to stay up late at night to do those creative things, and I don't want to go to bed because the idea is flowing and all of that, so it makes it kind of difficult. But you have to use the apps like that you were talking about, that to-do list. I've got that. I don't really use that as much as I should. I've got a planner that I started doing where I'm writing my goals daily. So, like, I think out of sight, out of mind. Apps are nice because they always pop up in my face and remind me. But I need something like paper, so it's kind of going into my head as I'm writing it down or something like that. But there's so many.
Yeah, and I think things make a deeper impression on you too when you write like pen and paper a lot of times. Dennis, you just remind me of something really important as far as like talking about routines. We've been talking about writing. The one thing that I'm trying differently this year than I have in last year. I felt like last year I was so work as much as possible and just get it done. And I probably put in, I think I was working 6 days a week last year. My average work day was like 8 to 10 hours for myself, which is really nice. I'm glad it was for me and for not anybody else. And I'll probably keep those same hours this year, but I want to start my day a little bit differently, because I think starting your day with something humorous or some positivity or something entertaining kind of like sets your day off to a really good note. And I've kind of been reading about routines and morning routines recently. And a lot of these big internet entrepreneur guys that we follow will start out their day with like a funny YouTube clip or a string of like, Instagram clips where like puppies are just running around in a yard. Or, clips from last night's Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel or like one of the night shows, or like live concert footage of their favorite band or something. So I think instead of this, like, and I've already been doing this year, and it's made me feel so much better and less stressed than last year. But like starting my day with like, a 5-minute video of something fun or entertaining, or like I follow a lot of like pugs and French bulldog accounts on Instagram because I love I cannot wait to get one of those dogs, but they are so hysterical to me because they have like, those pugs have so much personality. So I'll go flip through like Doug the Pug's videos and like see, what kind of videos like Doug the Pug is doing. And it'll just crack me up. And I think that little bit of time that you give yourself to just like laugh and smile and entertain yourself, it like automatically gets you off to a good start, as opposed to when you wake up to not the drudgery of, but the monotony of like, oh, I have to sit down at this blank page and write 500 words, or I have to like answer these emails, or I have to do this. It's like entertain yourself a little bit first, and then that'll set your. Isn't that kind of funny how simple that is?
Do cats and cucumbers. Look that one up on YouTube. That'll get you going with a laugh. Matt and I think we've talked about that, Matt, right? with
Yeah.
cucumbers.
And I
Oh,
just wanted to say that nobody's ever been like stressed out as they're smiling and laughing. So it kind of just gets you in a positive mood and ready for the day. I like to walk around actually in the morning. I like to get down at least a mile and a half every single morning and just wake up and get my mind straight and ready for the day.
That's awesome. And I think, dude, one thing that people are really getting into now, and I always thought was kind of hokey before, is like the whole meditation thing. Now you see apps for it everywhere and articles for it. And I just listened to a podcast of Tim Ferriss interviewing Arnold Schwarzenegger like in the last few months, which if you haven't listened to it, like it's mind blowing the things
his
you
shows
find. Have you guys
hilarious.
heard that?
I like his shows.
He's
So
so
this was
funny
with
and like
Schwarzenegger.
this is a Schwarzenegger, and like you find out so many funny and interesting things about that man's career. And it chronicles like his bodybuilding days and growing up in Austria all the way through like what he's doing now as like an entrepreneur and an actor. And it's hysterical, like the different tracks that this guy has gone down to find success. Like it's wild.
He was a millionaire real estate agent.
And that's what he told himself. He was like, I want to make $1 million in real estate before I ever get into the entertainment business. And I thought that was hysterical.
Because he wouldn't settle for roles because he didn't need the money. And he would just, when everybody else was just trying to get a role, like any role, he would just pick out the roles that were
be really
best
selective.
For him.
Yeah. And one thing that he mentioned too, Matt, that was funny in it is he brought up the whole meditation thing, and Ferriss was asking him about that. And he was like, and it was amazing how positive the guy was, because I had never like listened to his interviews. I had just seen his movies, but he was like, there just got to be some points in my life where I was so overwhelmed with these incredible opportunities that was being presented to me, whether it was in real estate or film or business opportunities or like making a new deal or meeting new people or whatever it was, that I think he was getting up to like an hour a day of meditation at some points, where he would just kind of sit and enjoy the quiet or the beach or like whatever he was doing. And I was like, I don't have that kind of time, but if I can like take 10, and I don't even know if it's really like meditation, but it's like, if I can like take 10 minutes to just like lay on the floor, or like sit back in my chair and like close my eyes and like listen to a new album that I just got or something, I think that really like helps you. Like Matt, you were saying, like with walking for 1.5 miles in the morning, it just, when you can approach your day, and not even just your work day, but your day in general with a clear head, that I think that's an invaluable way to start anything.
I posted headspace.com down there because that's an app that I've used a couple of times, and I need to start using it a little more. I fell asleep one time. It was so relaxing.
That's the one I downloaded too, Dennis. The guy's voice is so
it's so calming.
Like,
hey, baby, you're getting tired, aren't you?
Not with that.
Oh my gosh, that's too much. Yeah. But I think that positivity, and you guys know, I think the positivity thing I think with us is super important, because I think we can really get stressed out with, somebody brought up in this blab already, like there's so many different opportunities for us every day. And like some days I wake up and it's like, do I need to post a YouTube video? Do I need to write something for my blog? Do I need to take on like a new platform that looks like it's trending and doing well? And we can get it like it's so overcome with all of the avenues that we can go down to like market ourselves and make our business. Like I've been looking at, these platforms to upload new course videos to and making new courses. And that's pretty time consuming, as we all know here. And I think that if we can break down our business to like, what are the 2 or 3 biggest things that need to work for me that can do work on their own, or like, how can I make a single piece of content work over like 10 different platforms and send that out to my email list or whatever, the better that we're going to do.
And do you want to go over your whole weekly stuff of what you do on Monday through Friday?
I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like my life is pretty boring for what I do working from home. I guess I can touch on some stuff. I like taking.
It's not boring though, because you're doing what you love and you're making a living doing it.
Sure.
So, and not even other, like, I find it interesting. Like, I want to know what you do and what your schedule looks like, so I can, because you want to emulate other successful people, or if they're failing in something, you want to avoid what they're failing in. So
For sure. So, I mean, I gave like a pretty decent snapshot of my day as far as like starting off the day positively, reading for, 20, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, depending on what I'm reading, writing. Coffee is obviously really important for all of us here. I know we're all coffee drinkers here, so that's important.
I was going to ask you your
flowing.
favorite coffee. I saw that on there.
Man, I seriously like it. I just love coffee. So it doesn't matter if it's, if it's just like Folgers normal corporate, like, yeah, I mean, I love and appreciate really good coffee. Like we got, like Dennis, me and you've talked about the AeroPress, like, huh?
It's over after you got Folgers.
It's over.
It's done.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Maxwell's house either, Dennis.
There we go. That's probably what Matt's drinking.
It's like I like shooting me.
I think my favorite, though, to get from just the store is I like Pete's the best. I like Pete's coffee a lot.
I've heard Pete's is really good. There's Stumptown out of Portland that also gets rave reviews. I mean, you guys know that I drink a lot of Starbucks because I used to live in Seattle, and there's people who say they don't like Starbucks, and I'm like, there's no way that Starbucks would have become the world's largest coffee chain if they had bad coffee. No marketing, no good marketing could cover up.
Dennis, but let's apply that to the beer industry. And how much do you love Budweiser?
I hate Budweiser. But Budweiser is not like Budweiser distributes like all of the other microbrews now, and that's
but do you like Budweiser, Dennis? Because they're huge.
Yeah, but they bought like a lot of the microbrew companies because the crappy beer, like people like yourself, like and Jack, they don't drink that stuff. The younger generation drinks microbrews, so they've had to shift.
Sure,
it's like they're Budweiser, but only the rednecks here in Idaho drink that. Oh, I hope I didn't offend anyone.
Hey man, I'm Tennessee. I know all about that life.
I like good
we won't
beer.
distribute
like
this podcast
coffee.
to people in Idaho.
Matt knows I like good stuff
funny.
because he has to remind me every time I tell him I bought something new. He's like, "Can you afford that?"
It's funny though. I feel like because Dennis, we've talked about the whole AeroPress thing since. Leandra, my fiance, has gotten AeroPress for Christmas. Like, you could take the most bland vanilla coffee grounds in the world and like put it through an AeroPress and it would taste like a great cup of coffee. So if you have like great beans or great grounds or whatever and you put it through an AeroPress, like it's going to make a mind-blowing cup of coffee.
I've used mine once since I bought it and I'm scared to use it again because I got because if my coffee gets coffee grounds in it, I won't drink it. I just toss it. It's like
that's so funny.
It's like it's contaminated it, but I like French press and a pour over. That's really good. And
they're pretty low, man. I mean, they take a little more time than just flipping on a coffee pot, but
yeah.
Are we getting too off track, Matt?
No, we're talking about business coffee.
I'm just looking at the notes here, and okay, so after, let's just say a Monday, all right, you drink a shitload of coffee.
Yep.
And then it looks like you send out thank you messages on Udemy and you respond to customers. You want to elaborate on that and then go on to Tuesday and Wednesday?
And I might even switch that to my Wednesday this year because I feel like a lot more people are present on Wednesday. That seems to be the biggest day of the week for traffic to my website too. So for whatever reason, people are a little more present on Wednesday. Maybe like Monday and Tuesday, people are getting caught up with work. And then Wednesday, they're kind of like, okay, well, I've gotten, everything I need to do done. And then jumping on there. So yeah, I love like taking the time to like reach out to students on Udemy. Like if people have given me great reviews or bad reviews or mediocre reviews, I like sending messages to those people and saying, hey, thank you so much to every one of them. Hey, thank you so much for taking the time to like review this. I really appreciate that because that's helping me do a better job at what I'm doing. And I really just want to help people globally now that I've seen that I can do that. So I'll send them a message like that and I'll be like, what did you really like about this course? What do you want to improve? Or if I get like a flagrant review from somebody, like I've had a couple recently, like I'll reach out to them and I'll just be like, hey, I'm so sorry that you felt like it was this way. Is there any way that I can make this up to you? Or what can I add to this course to make it a better learning experience for you? Because I really am sincere about like making the best learning experience for everyone that I can. So I'll take the time to do that on Mondays. Like I said, I might switch this to my Wednesdays. just for the sake of this conversation. And then I'll usually like take Mondays. I really want to get a lot of writing done then too. So I usually start at least drafting the blog post or the couple of blog posts that I want to release for that week, and get that outline out there and fill that out a little bit. And then Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm going to take to create content for my new courses. Like I said earlier, I've got a lot of courses in the pipeline. I think as far as like feasible ideas go on Udemy, I have a brainstorm list of, oh geez, if I pulled up that mess right now, you guys would laugh. But I think I've got like 30 to 40 like ideas for feasible fitness or health and fitness courses. And I know that there's more out there just because there's so many different solutions that can fit so many different schedules that people have. So I'm going to take Tuesdays and Wednesdays, like I was last year, just shooting new video, editing that video, uploading that video, and kind of organizing it. And then Thursday and Friday, I think I'll keep this way. It's hard to tell with Udemy and their algorithm for doing this. Like I don't want new video to my existing courses to diminish the existing content on there. So I'm going to have to be really selective about taking those days to still keep, everything that I put in my daily schedule of writing and everything else, but like creating maybe like a new lecture or so a week for the existing courses that I have to keep building the content base and, creating more hours of content for that this year. So I think that's what it'll be dedicated to doing. And then Mondays, I'll probably also do like some more exploration too of like other platforms that are out there. I might do a little more reading. I feel like a great way to discover stuff now is just talking to you two on Facebook and anybody else from our group. It's like, just sending a message out there every once in a while. It's like, hey, where are you teaching courses, or where are you sending the stuff that you write, or where are you uploading things to? I feel like peer education is one of my favorite things, because then, we've already got this friendship. It's like, why not, keep building what we're doing by helping each other out. So then Saturdays and Sundays, if I feel like working, I might, but I usually, take Saturday to like relax, go to the gym for an hour or two, because that's what I enjoy. And then maybe like test out things in the gym that I've been reading about, whether it's strength exercise or mobility, testing out whatever I've been reading. And then Sunday, I try to take one day that's completely off. But like Matt pointed out earlier, you, Dennis, is like, hey, we love what we do. We're constantly thinking about it. So, if I get the inspiration on Saturday morning, which I've done a lot recently, like I'll go down and sit at the kitchen table for 4 hours and like write or research a topic or start outlining a new course out of nowhere. So.
Yeah. Hey, do you go like I know sometimes you work at coffee shops, and I do the same thing because I like to get out of the house. Are there any other places that you go to kind of escape?
You mean while I'm working, like places I go to work?
Yeah, because there's coffee shops, and Wi-Fi is pretty prevalent. Like our downtown area has Wi-Fi in the downtown area. So are there places in Nashville that you like to go to work that aren't a coffee shop or whatever? Opryland?
If you actually have Xfinity, you can access a lot of Wi-Fi around the area, like pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, and we do. So I'm gonna have to test that out. Yeah, as far as like, I usually just stick to coffee shops because I do like coffee and I like the social environment that's in a coffee shop. Like, it's nice to be, as you guys know, like working from home can get pretty mundane, and it can also get lonely. So like working around other people who are working or having meetings or just being social or whatever, I really enjoy the music. I really enjoy the white noise of everything going on in the background. It's nice to get out of the house. And in Nashville, because this has been such a booming city the last couple of years, it seems like every time you wake up or turn a corner or open up Yelp, it's like there's 4 new coffee shops that have opened up, or restaurants or whatever. So I found a few that I like. And I think I've really found for myself that it's really beneficial to cycle through the coffee shops that you go to. Just because I feel like that, you kind of get stuck in the same perspective in being in the same habitat, I guess. So I've really found value in like picking 3 or 4 places that I really like and then cycling through those places so I can keep my content fresh.
Yeah, Dave Espino goes to Panera Bread because they've got really high-speed internet or something like that.
Nice. Yeah, Dennis, where do you usually go? Do you usually go to like some of the coffee shops?
I like to go to the local coffee shops. I was telling you about the one called the Flying M Coffee Garage, which is an old Firestone store turned into a coffee shop. And it's a very, very unique, funky furniture and stuff like that, and a variety of people. So it's not all the same type of crowd, because Starbucks tends to, I think, cater to a certain type of crowd. So
Sure.
the local shops have college people, just a different variety of people. So I like that type of setup. And there's one close to where I live, which is nice.
That's so convenient. And Matt, do you usually ever get out of the house, or you usually just like working from home better?
I just like working from home better because I just want to focus and get the work done because, getting even just, I don't know how often you guys go, but just the money that is spent just adds up. And then the time in the car going back and forth just adds up too. So
Sure.
I mostly just stick around, and then either like when Kara gets home, my girlfriend, we just go to the gym and pretty much every night. And just, hang out and do whatever together, or I just hang out with some of my friends. So that's mostly when I get out.
Sure. See, I think that's good to have like go ahead, Dennis.
No, I was going to say, I understand where Matt's coming from with that, but my thought with that getting out, even though it does cost money, first of all, it doesn't, like for drip coffee, it doesn't really cost that much. Like you might spend like less than $5 or something like that. And for me, it's like about a 5-minute drive or whatever. I find that if I change my environment, that it re-energizes me and more ideas flow, and I can get more done because right now I've got a stand-up desk, but I've got a bed behind me. And when you're at home, it's so easy to like lay down in a favorite chair or just lay down on your bed for a few minutes, and all of a sudden you're sleeping. Where I'm not going to fall asleep at a coffee shop, or at least I hope not.
That happens to me and Jack.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had the experience where I'm in the middle of work and I'm just like, I'm going to take a nice sit.
Oh, well, the coffee house that I go to has a nice red leather couch, and it's cozy. But
nice.
But I just don't think that like it costs that much. And if you're doing it like maybe once a week or something like that, I just think that you make it up in the stuff that you create or the energy that you get. So
sure. I think
have to get out of the house.
Yeah, and I think there's great points on either side of this too, because like I'll go through phases where like the last 2 or 3 months, I feel like I've been working a ton from home, like just at my desk here, like down in the kitchen, and I can stand up. We have a bar that's pretty tall, so I can like stand up at the bar and work from that. But then I'll go through phases where it's like I treat the coffee shop as my office and go 4 or 5 days a week. And I'm kind of like Dennis in this, Matt, where it's like I think that those weeks that I go there, the cost of that, because I feel like I can get 2 cups of coffee in Nashville and it's only $2 total for those at most places. It's like $2 for a cup of coffee and then they get you a free refill.
Yeah,
so it's like I usually do that.
Coffee. Yeah.
So I usually do that, and then just like Dennis said, it's not like you have any distractions at home. It's not like you can go or do anything else. It's not like you're gonna start cleaning randomly or decide, oh, I'm hungry, I'm gonna cook something and get distracted. It's like it's you, your computer, and then whatever you're drinking, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I think it does force you to get a lot done.
The other place you could go to is microbreweries. We have a couple that have Wi-Fi, and you can have like a couple of beers for fairly cheap, because when you go to the brewery, it's not as much. And there's a couple of them. One that I went to about a week ago with a friend that I hadn't seen in a while, and they had a lot of open space, and I think that they had Wi-Fi there too, so you could just go and sit there and have a few beers and do your work. I know for me that after a few beers, the creative juices are definitely flowing,
I was gonna say, after a few beers, I think I'd be asleep on my laptop.
Speaking of that, I loved Nashville when I went. Have you been to Yazoo Brewery?
I haven't taken a tour yet, but I've heard it's a blast to do.
Have you had any of like their beers?
Yeah.
Do you like it, or?
I do. I like Yazoo. I think Jackalopes probably my favorite in town, and they've only been around for a few years now. But what's the Yazoo? I like Yazoo's porter. I can't think of the name of it off of the top of my head. Is it Sly Rye? Is that the one that Yazoo has? I like that one.
I don't remember. I just remember I had to look it up because I forgot the name.
Yeah.
But I had like a couple of their beers and it was really good.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. And Nashville's getting really hip. Like when me and Leandra were out driving around the other day, like I saw 2 or 3 buildings in one 15-minute drive that were all turning into microbrews in this town. And
Wow.
they're like trying to become a combination of like Portland and Los Angeles or something. I feel like.
I loved it. I was thinking about actually moving there a few years ago.
No way.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
I mean, what could have been, right?
What could have been? Hey, Matt, it's still not too late, man. You're just going to keep making more money. So I don't see why it'd be a problem to move down here at some point.
Yeah. Me and my girlfriend want to stay near family. So,
yeah, I think that's important too.
Yeah. Remember, I told you that there's like over 80% of Americans live within 30% of where their mothers live.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I had heard that statistic. And I'm like,
did you say 30 minutes?
Yeah.
With me, it's like 0 minutes when my parents are home. They're right there.
I'm 40 minutes away.
Wow.
Yeah. That's close.
That's the
really
average.
Close.
So I need to move a little further away. So yeah,
well, I'm surprised there's still 2 people in here.
As much as we've been yapping, I was about to say we can get out of here since we've covered just about everything. So
yeah, and it doesn't matter with this because it's technically a podcast. So it doesn't matter how many people are like watching at the moment. But yeah, now would probably be a good time to wrap up. We've talked about a lot of good things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so all right. Well, for the people who are listening and the people who will be on YouTube, I just want to, if you like what you've heard and you want to learn how to teach on Udemy, you can grab the course on skillhance.com for $9. It's normally $19 or $37. I haven't decided on the price, but you can get it for $9. And I'll attach the link there, and it'll be on YouTube and whatever else.
So, Jack, where can we find you at online?
The best, easiest places to find me are trainerjack.com. That's my website. That's the hub where you can find me everywhere. I'm pretty sure all my links to YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, all of that is up there. And if you're interested in any of my courses, you can buy them all for $10 off of my website, which I think Udemy's still running a $24 promotion right now. So you could save another $14 and buy any of my courses.
And
one of the biggest.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you bet. And then the other, I would say, best place to find me is I'm trying to get really diligent about posting and building on my Instagram. And my handle on Instagram is just Trainer Jack. So find me on there, send me a message. I'd love to talk to you on there. I think my email's out there on a lot of my social media platforms. So you can reach out to me that way if you want to. I love talking to people personally. I feel like that's one of the best parts of my job. I'm even actually, I don't think I told you guys this recently. So I actually took a few clients a week just training during the daytime just because I love being in the gym so much. And my fiance was telling me, she was like, don't you miss like training people in the gym? Like I get what you're doing with your business, but like that was one of your favorite parts of the job was the human interaction and teaching people and building that relationship in person. And I was like, you know what? That's a great idea. I should do this. So I put my name out there and I'm going to be training a few people soon. So that'll be really fun. So I love the personal engagement. That's everywhere you can find me.
Good.
That's awesome. And Dennis, where can we find you? DennisJSmith.com and also onlinecoursecoupons.com for lots of Udemy courses. So if you want to find other people out there like Matt and Jack, and then you can find me by just typing in Dennis Smith, and you can use the coupon code Udemy5 for my courses for $5 just because $5 is easy to spend. That's the thing. That's the thing about marketplaces. You're undercutting both Jack and I already.
Yeah, you are.
I don't have any fitness courses though.
Well, fine. You're undercutting me then.
And I have no eBay courses. So
you have Udemy courses and WordPress courses.
Yeah, and we know Matt has skillhance.com, so make sure that you check that out. And
did I not even
see
say
what
that?
He's up to. No,
you did. You said you.
I'm just giving you
guys,
an extra plug
so
for undercutting you.
In the post production, I can give myself all the plugs.
Yeah, really.
Nice.
And then Jack,
guys, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jack.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Jack.
Hey, no problem, guys. It's always good getting distracted on Blab with you too.
Yeah. And those of you who are left, thanks for hanging out with us today. And don't forget to join us next week on Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know if it's standard time right now for more Make Money Online.